dude. Hit it up.
Wait, let's see. Autumn leaves.
Huh? Huh? Folks, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show. Off the road here, and chance to hang today with a dear brother of mine and a great musician.
Yes, sir.
Travis Ray, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
What's going on, Jake, man? Glad to finally get with you, man. Definitely a good friend of mine, man, for a long time, man. I've been keeping up. Glad to have a relationship with you, man. You know what I'm saying? You've been following my road for a long time, man. One of my first interviews, me being back in Tucson, man, had to come to the best.
Well, yeah, back at you, brother. I just wanted you to talk a little bit about how to survive in the music industry today. And make sure you project your voice loud because we're dealing with a lot of stuff. But
Yeah.
you're back and forth. You're here in Tucson.
Right.
You got bands here. But at the same time, you're also in Detroit. And I just want you to talk about survival and maybe thriving in the music business today.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be honest, Detroit's my hometown, as many know. I first started coming to Tucson in 2011. Got family and friends out here. It's my second home, and it's just really, it's to survive, it's just, you got to do it. You can't give up, man. There's so many ups and downs in this industry, man. Success is not an overnight thing. It's a journey. It's a lifestyle, man. And you got to just enjoy the process.
That's right.
Take the good with the bad, man, because, it's been times when...
What's the hardest thing that's happened to you since we last connected?
Man, Jay, that's crazy. The hardest thing...
I just want you to, because there's a lot of cats that are, they're not, scuffling's the wrong word. It's just they're on the journey, and it's a lonely avenue. So, what were you up against that you overcame in Detroit? As far as the racket is concerned.
Well, I mean, a lot of people know Detroit's just like, it's a crazy city, man. It's my home though. It's always.
Yeah, I love Detroit. My mom's from Saginaw. I'm a big Detroit fan, dude. But yeah, it's when you say it's tough, what do you mean?
Basically, man, it's just I've always had a big heart, man. Been a loving person, man. I believe in showing love. It's what I live by, man. Love always wins, over hatred, jealousy, man. That's just what I practice. And my city, unfortunately, man, there's just a lot of hateful people, man. And it's a lot of jealousy, envy. They don't want to see you make it, man. And you got to overcome that. And, it's also, I'm black. It's a lot of black people in my city. It's like... You would think we'd be able to thrive and get along with each other. That's my message. That's what I want us to do, but it doesn't always happen that way. It's crime, poverty, a lot of stuff though.
Can you? Talk to the audience about why you feel, at least in the climate like Detroit, love doesn't win out. Why is it that desperate people are envious of people that are taking the righteous path? Because nobody's looking to get rich here.
Right.
But they see you trying to live by love. And And so why doesn't it work? Why isn't it? And I don't want to sound.
We can move around.
Yeah.
I look at it like this, Jay. Everybody got their own personal path and journey, right? But we all on the same planet, doing it together, right? So it's like we all went through the same thing in different experience at some point in our lives. So instead of us being judgmental of those people, you know, and holding these experiences back, I feel we'll push each other forward by sharing these experiences. That's why I feel it's my mission through music and talking, interviews like this is why.
Yeah, it was.
Back.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but I'm saying you know, how do you let it go when there are people who don't want you to succeed?
Well, it's like, you know, I'm still learning. I don't have the answers, but I do want to say what helped me in the process is not giving them so much of my energy. You know, like putting your energy into creating more product, creating more music, what you love, and putting that negative energy into something positive. That's what helped me, because if I focus on everybody who had a gripe with me or didn't like me, I would be insane. You know?
Well, and I think a lot of the cats are insane. That's what happens. They tap into that. They feed off the negative. But you're talking about turning that around in a boomerang fashion. I guess you have the ability to play. Why don't you play an original? Why don't you play a new tune coming up on your album for us? You know.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's such an honor to be back with my brother Travis right here. You know, totally on the fly here.
Good friend,
You know,
man.
voluminous keys, man.
Let me see.
You want to talk about this song or the genesis of this song?
This is it's a few different songs I got coming out, but on my first project, Keys Volume 1, it was all instrumental. So I'm gonna focus on working with artists on the second album.
Vocalists.
Rappers, singers, and I got a few. Me being from Detroit, I tapped into this song called Love Cause by an artist named Kim. And
K-I-M?
K-E-M.
K-E-M, Kim.
He's from Detroit. It's called Love Cause, and worked with this artist named LaBrittany. We redid the record and co-produced with a guy named Jay West, and I'm just gonna give you an idea of what it sounds like. So it's paying homage to Kim. You know, it's not an original, but one of the first songs I learned on piano. So here we go.
Do you find, like, when you were in Detroit and you, my man, his name escapes me now, but he brought you in for a lot of studio work. Did you do it in isolation a lot, or were you hitting with the cats in the studio at the same time?
So when I went back home, I was doing some in-house production and engineer work with a record label, well-known label, B&B.
B&B.
And you know, it was a amazing situation, man. The way it turned out, man. I was able to work daily, you know.
And it was gigs. I mean, you were getting paid for it.
Yeah. Basically, production and engineering. Now, I was more of a live musician here in Tucson. I was doing a lot of live shows, and this was more of me getting into producing, engineering, recording people. So it was a different experience.
But like that riff on that tune, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're basically putting that down as an overdub. It's not like Kem is in the studio riffing over that. That's sort of my dream, is that everybody's always in the studio at the same time. And I realized that that's how music's changed. The making of music has changed.
Yeah, and that's funny that you say that, Jay, because I wanted that. You know, I'm like, I want to get Kim's blessing on this song. You know what I'm saying? And his daughter, she does music. He's in Detroit, so like we haven't released it yet. And it's with an artist named Brittany. You know, she was on Love and Hip Hop. You know, a lot of you guys may have heard of her or not. You know, but
there's so many cats in Detroit.
Yeah, we looking to release that soon. You know, it's just a process. You know, everything's a process in this business, what I'm learning. And a lot of the things that I've done is going to be longevity stuff. You know, like things that I do in the future that my children are going to be able to eat off of. Like, a lot of the stuff in the game isn't upfront money. You know, and you can't, if you're trying to get in the music industry, think about to get rich.
Yeah, I love it. What are your intentions? That's not going to fly. And that's a lot of the younger. How was that a revelation for you just in the last few years, or were your intentions for music always just to play truth?
I mean, honestly, man, I never did it for likes or attention. Like, when I was younger, about 22 years old, I did some piano covers on YouTube. I didn't even have a Twitter page at the time. It was about 2012. And I just was like, hey, that's some of my favorite tunes. I want to cover them on the keys, add some stuff. Like, one of the covers I did was Diced Pineapples by Rick Ross. Sounds like do that cover on YouTube, right? This was October 12th, 2012, right? Not familiar on Twitter, none of that. People just started commenting on my YouTube video, like, yo, Rick Ross sent me here, Rick Ross sent me here. And I'm like, what are these people talking about? And basically, my good friend of mine said me, like, man, Rick Ross shouted your cover out on Twitter. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Whoa.
So he it was a blog who picked it up, said whoever knows this guy Instagram or Twitter handle, let me know. And like a couple days later, he shared it again, and he said like fly shit. That's what he captioned it. And that's also how I came up with the name Travis Ray, son of Hat. You know what I'm saying? It's my first name, middle name, just combined. Travis Ray Nard, cut off the Nard, Travis Ray. You know, that's how I came up with that. So, that's a crazy story. 2012, I kind of went viral. You know, the video got about 10, 20,000 views, and it's a cool little thing, man. You know, just to get acclimated to social media.
Well, it's also the divine there. There's no doubt that there is a divine connection there. You know, to be able to sort of capture that in the moment, and then somehow it gets hip to a blog. And it is how new media works, and then all of a sudden it gets into this sort of vortex where it starts bouncing around.
Yeah.
But what's cool is every time you start playing in this guitar center, anybody who's just trying to figure out their instrument stops playing to listen. So, I mean, what you're between Tucson and Detroit. I mean, how do you stay in the moment when you are, well, to be honest, transient? I mean, you're going back and forth. You're not rooted here. This is your second home.
Right.
But how can you honestly get momentum going? Just talk to the cats out there who might be in similar situations. How can you get momentum going when you're going back and forth?
But basically, man, it's basically staying active wherever you at.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm at sometimes I like, this is part of the reason I had to leave. Is like you get comfortable sometimes. You with family. You happy people who know him your whole life. It's easy to get comfortable and complacent. And I got people back home who just simply haven't even. I wouldn't say progress because everybody's version of success is different. Right?
Dude, I love where you're going. No, but maybe they've been in a rut for a minute. You feel allegiance to them, yeah.
Like I could pull up on them at the same place, and I don't look down on that. I think that's admirable. Like if you could be here and have this number the same a certain amount of time, that says something about your character. And I'm close with a lot of my day one friends. Whenever I go back home, I could pull up same neighborhoods, all that. And it's an honor and a privilege just to be able to have people like that. Because being out here, I'm just thankful for how they embrace me, as a musician and my talent and my gift. And that's why I came back to share it because I just had to. It was a lot that Tucson has done for me, and it's like I gotta pay it back, man. It's just how I was raised.
What are the cats from day one that were your friends? When you see them and connect with them, play music with them, you feel like it is a catalyst for them to recharge their batteries a little bit. Because you can get jaded, even though I talked to Dennis Coffey, who's the iconic guitar player, and he kind of blew me away because I was like, well, how has Detroit changed live music wise? And he's like, you really can't ever take the soul out of any place. They can try in Cuba, they can't really take the soul out of it. In Detroit, all you hear about is abandoned houses, garbage trucks not going into certain. You just hear about the worst of it. What Coffey said was that any night of the week you can go and see any kind of music you want, and that there is a thriving club scene. I am surprised that you haven't played live there. If that's accurate.
Well, it's my hometown, so I play in church and whatnot when I'm back home. And the live scene is mainly church musicians. It's crazy. Like it's a lot of guys who I grew up with back there. Jay Drew, Chris Brooks.
I love you. Throw the shout outs, man. Throw the shout outs, man.
These are my guys. Like we all
people's history of music here. So
yeah.
So they're going from the gospel setting into the nightclub.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like, it gets sticky when you're dealing with that, especially in a denomination. I grew up in Church of God in Christ. They're very
judgmental about blues or any of that. Yeah.
Right. So me, I believe in God. I just don't believe in judging people. Like, you gotta let people do and figure it out for themselves, and try and be the best example or give them advice that will help them or resources if necessary. It's like people be so tight with knowledge and information and resources when if you help 10 people get to their next destination and something bad happens to you, like to where you can't take care of your business, like you don't think any of those 10 people who you help you can reach out to. It's like it's a team effort. We all need each other, and that's what I'm about. Unity.
Man, you are channeling the Jake Feinberg show. Have you ever been? What is the closest thing to unity that you've had in your career? I feel like we've been getting farther and farther away from. One of the major reasons I even started my radio show to begin with was to connect people in the digital age, but person to person.
Yeah.
So does that? What was the ideal unification for you, or even a time when you did help people and it came back to where they helped you?
You know what, Jake? I'm glad you asked that, man. It was the band I played in, Street Blues Family. Incredible guys, family. That's why they call it Street Blues Family.
Local Tucson cats.
Yes, sir.
Holding court at Hotel Congress.
Yes, Magic Wednesdays just passed. I got the feature on one of the songs.
Dude, yeah, I was out of town. I would have rolled hard to that.
So shout out to Ray Murphy and Street Blues Family, man. Zaya, Joe Novelli, Mike Moynihan, man.
Moynihan's in that band.
Yeah.
He's a beast, dude.
Yeah,
that dude is a monster, dude.
Genius, bro.
Yeah, serious tenor player.
Yeah. Mick Burton, the whole game, man. Patrick on bass, Chris Payne on the keys. It's a dope set of guys, and I tell you this, I got in a car accident back in 2015, man, and got a real bad concussion that I wasn't even aware of. And at the time, Ray Murphy used to play professional football, and he could tell a week later, like, you know what, something's not right with you, man. I was paranoid, tripping, I wasn't myself. And Ray Murphy and Street Blues family put together a whole benefit concert here in Tucson at 191-2 and helped raise medical funds for my, doctor bills, man, and had shirts that said "We love Travis," man. It was crazy, man. They embraced my mom like their own, man, and that's why Tucson, man. Like I said, my heart is here, man. Like,
So is mine. I'm on the road a lot, but my heart is always here, man. It's a beautiful story. And before we wrap, do you want to play an original tune? Whatever you want to play.
I'm gonna show you a few tunes, man. Like one of the first songs I learned when I was 8 years old, man. It was a song by Carl Thomas called "I Wish," and I'm gonna show you how I used to play it as a kid. Cause I was sit by this radio. My mom had this, those big tall speakers from back in the day, and the radio played with like 6 CDs you can put in at a time. So I sit by there just listening, and then I started building on. That's how I sounded at 8 years old. Hard to really tell what it is, cause I didn't know the fingering and stuff now, but I'll show you how I play it now. Ice cream truck would come down the block. Like no matter what I was doing, we'd be on the block playing tag, shooting basketball. Because when I was a kid, we used to be on the block playing with each other. It wasn't.
Yeah, you were out in the neighborhood, exactly.
No smartphones, no tablets. We ain't out here. Nah, man.
It's just the neighborhoods they were actually. I mean, I'm not saying they were safe, but there was a community there. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Out there getting busy. Just make sure you in when the street lights come on.
Dig. In Detroit.
Basically.
Yeah.
When an ice cream truck would come by, man, I would run in the house. The keyboard I had my great grandma gave to me. It was only this big, like a little Casio, man. And I would wait for it to come by and learn that tune by ear, like I'm self-taught.
I'd love to hear that tune, dude.
Ice cream truck. That's how I learned it as a kid, and when I grew and developed, I got the whole, song, man. And then started getting into a little bit more West Coast and learned some Tupac. I ain't mad at you, so I'm gonna show you how I used to play it as a kid and now versus how I play it as an adult.
Wow, dig.
I learned it just like this on the radio. Notice I'm playing with one finger right now. That's 8-year-old Trav versus 29-year-old Trav.
heart stays here. Travis Ray, we'll do more, man. This was such a ball, man.
Oh yeah, man. There's definitely more to come, Jake. I'm glad to be back. Anybody here looking for studio time, production? I'm here in Tucson. Tap in with me this Thursday. Be at the R Bar for my birthday. I'm turning 30.
Yeah, we'll rock that out.
You know, and
But also, I'll be coming back with you to Detroit at some point to scout out
yes, sir.
all the cats, because that's, you can't really ever take the soul out of any city, no matter how hard you try, man.
Yes, sir.
Keep it up, Travis. Much love to you, brother.
Appreciate it, Jake. Yes, sir.
It's the Jake Feinberg Show. See you later.